2. So BTG, they can't afford to have that become a 6-4 as we prepare for Cursed Hollow, a much more Soa-favored map.
Definitely true. If you take a look at it, only 1 win and 5 losses for Beyond the Game. So this is all but their home turf here in Cursed Hollow, as you said, Tetra. And this is the first time actually for Beyond the Game that they will go into a best-of-5 series behind. They always started off with a 1-0 against both Timeflow and Sunnyline. So this is a new experience for them in a longer series. Keep in mind that the regular season in HGC China is always a best-of-2. So if you fall behind, you can always get that draw in. So you have a little bit of a different mindset there, perhaps. But here, it's all about losing or winning. There's no drawing.
So this time, Genji is not banned out, but Hanzo is taken away, and that is an issue. Molly was very strong on it, and Sorry apparently filling in pretty well. He was able to play the hero to great effect. However, Genji has been left available, as has, if we're going by Europe style, Blaze would probably be quite high up here as well. And this is a map where we will sometimes see Western teams, and sometimes Korean teams, prioritize a certain slug, a certain Zerg Weaver, Essence Weaver, the Abathur.
Definitely true. It's Abathur. It's an Abathur map, without any doubts. There's a lot of heroes, like the Greymane, like you said, that pair off extremely well with Abathur, potentially because of strong copies and great support when they go in, when they engage. In general, Illidan is another hero of that category. Even a Malthael sometimes can be very deadly. And here we see a Soa favorite. We've seen many Falstad games coming in from this team, even before he was kind of brought back. Even in double support meta times, they still busted out the Falstad every now and then. So that's cool to see for sure. And you brought up a good point about Sorry from Team Soa doing very well in that Hanzo, and I think they played it very smart in which hero they gave to him, because Hanzo, if you're a new player, he's a very safe hero. From a great distance, you can still deliver all the damage. You normally don't get caught that easily as if compared to, let's say, a Vala, or compared to a Raynor or a Tychus. So I really like what they did, giving Sorry a little bit of confidence here, boosting his morale up a little bit, and I'm really quite interested to see what he's going to perform like in this game now.
Yeah, and you mentioned that Falstad. It's like you said, it's one of their go-tos. 75% win rate on it for this season in a 6-2 fashion. They are good on this hero. The ETC is still sitting at about half win rate as well, just below 5-6. So that's a solid opening for them. It's strong. It denies 619, and it gives them one of their top heroes. I'm excited for this.
Druid is back on his own Druid, though. He's finally back on Malfurion. And if you were watching yesterday, guys, then you know how deadly he can be. And if you didn't, please feel free to watch the VODs on Twitch and YouTube, because it was a pleasure to see Druid showing up from downtown. We didn't really have him on our radars, but boy oh boy is he a staple right now.
He really is. He is those Twilight Dreams, those roots. And the roots aren't even limited to Malfurion. The roots on Stukov is something he was doing quite a bit yesterday as well. So there's a chance that might happen again. Jaina being hovered as the ban. There is no Jaina player in this in the game, as in the player named Jaina, not a person who can play Jaina. This is incredibly confusing. Why do you do this, players? But we do have players who can play Jaina, due to the fact that Jaina is actually one of the highest win rate heroes in the game, and can be seriously punishing against Ethereal due to the fact that you just drop the Blizzard and the Cone of Cold directly on top of a certification as the certification ends.
Yeah, very good point. And for the exact same reason we've seen Jaina being played against Alexstrasza yesterday as well. You basically wait for everyone to clump around in the abundance, and you just drop a Ring of Frost or a Blizzard even, and wait until everybody is going to take more damage than they can actually heal from Alexstrasza. Alexstrasza, by the way, continues to impress. Yesterday in the EU Open Division, Saxy Platypus just showed up on a big level, and even before that we saw Beyond the Game trying to win games with it and succeeded in doing so.
Who is so far your favorite Alexstrasza between the two? Do you like Druid or do you like the Sexy Platypus?
Oh, Sexy Platypus just put on a show yesterday. I remain a big fan of his and will continue to do so, because Tetra and I will be casting the second day of Cup 5 as well, bringing you all the semifinals and the grand final.
Yep, gonna be good. Singularity reclaimed their crown. There is no Terra's Rotzina to battle through this time, thanks to the Undergods. But for now, Uther and Genji. And Soa are starting to get the tools they need to, well, kill everything.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're trying to do. Now, I wonder who's going to play Genji, because we do have a player like TY who just showed up big time, and I think it would probably fit more like his playstyle. Or is it going to be the new guy on the block? Is it going to be Sori? But Genji is a whole different hero than Hanzo. If you're good at poking, you don't necessarily have to be good in Genji, because he definitely has those hardcore engage moments around his kit that require perfect timing and good mechanics.
If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure the Genji player for the team was actually Molly.
I recall so too.
So yeah, that is an excellent point. In fact, I am now looking at TY's hero history, and Genji's not in it. He's played Gal, but not Genji.
Almost. They start with the same letter. So yeah, it's going to be a task for Sori then, and I'm really excited to see Sori's Genji.
Yeah, that, or like you said, we could be seeing a little bit of a role swap. So the ending of the draft for BTG and Nubarak, and one of the biggest counters to him, Li Ming here. So very poke-heavy draft again. Very different style to what they played last game, especially, where it was basically set up for ATC, dance around the enemies, and try and make plays that way. This team going to be a lot more willing to team fight. Basically, they want to dive and blow up. Hanzo Dragon Arrow after a Nubarak engage, certification to prevent any counter engage and let Druid do his thing, and of course Li Ming just hit all the buttons all the time.
Yeah, and here goes Sonya. Sonya, a hero that has fallen in popularity quite a bit ever since her recent balance changes, but China still likes her, and yesterday I think it was RPG who played her a little bit chicken on that Sonya. They couldn't make it, obviously, and I remain a little bit skeptical right now when there's a Blaze available why you would want to pick a Sonya, because although Sonya is a strong laner and adds a little bit more single target DPS than compared to Blaze, Blaze is just more useful, I feel, right now. He is stronger wave clear, he's equal self-sustain, if not better self-sustain. He's actually going to provide protection for all of his team members, and Sonya can oftentimes not really do that much if you're behind, whereas Blaze can always keep you in the game simply due to the fact that he keeps lanes safe and depushed.
So, a curious move coming in here with the Sonya. Are you also excited for spear cooldown reduction coming in for the new Sonya?
Did you watch the trailer?
I watched the trailer. I have now seen the hype.
I am just excited about 2, 3, 4, 5 meter long spears now with that new talent.
That does look kind of insane. I want to know if you can combine that with Mystical Spear, if that's on the same level. Or if you're just going to be passing across great distances with a single throw.
It would be amazing. For those of you guys who haven't really watched the videos just yet, definitely make sure to do so in a commercial break or so. They're not really very long, but they are very well made, and they basically give you a sneak preview of what you can expect from Medivh and Sonya in 2018.
Yeah. Which one do you think is going to see more play after those shots?
I think it's still going to be Sonya. I think Medivh will become a little bit more mainstream, but still he will remain a little bit more specialized than Sonya.
I disagree. I think it's going to be Medivh.
All right, cool.
I think he's a perfect hero to basically revive all of the double support compositions without a second support.
Awesome. Tetra, introduce Soa to us.
I shall. Soa on the left-hand side with Faye on Sonya, Uncle G on Uther, TY on Falstad, Klong on ETC, and Sori is on Genji.
And their opponent's currently down 0-1. It is beyond the game with Druid on Malfurion, with 619 on Nubarak. CJZ is playing the Turiel, LK on Li Ming, and Dancing is going to play our Hanzo this time around. So, ladies and gentlemen, can Soa extend their lead and get a match point already for this first best of 5? And can they advance to playing the one later on? Or is Beyond the Game furious and angry enough to tie out the series? We're going to see. I think this time around, their draft is looking very promising. You said, Tetra, the Li Ming, of course, being the prime counter to ETC Mosh Pit attempts, so maybe he's not even going to go that route and try to go stage dive. And, of course, Li Ming also adds the, or basically shuts down one of the hardest counters to Cocoon. So, 2 eggs in one basket. Very well played.
So with the assassins that have come in from Soa, we already mentioned that Falstad, 75% win rate, 6 and 2. Genji only been picked 3 times by Soa in general, or every single time was played by Molly, and they do have a 2 and 1 win rate, so a 66.6 etc. recurring. win rate on the heroes. So they are putting a lot of faith onto a hero that as a team, they didn't actually play that much. And when they did, it was on the player that isn't here.
Very true. TY in the meantime trying to hold his own against two heroes. Fei, of course, doing what a Sonya still does best, despite her recent nerfs and changes. Still very good at clearing mercenary camps. Uncle G actually helping his buddy out there with some healing. And combined, they will have knights available for their teammates relatively soon. And you can actually see that Beyond the Game wasn't even trying to get any mercenary camps. Only now do they march towards the Siege Steins.
Yeah, kind of the opposite of their old style here. And we actually see the similar style of Li Ming and Malfurion. Very similar to the last game, but from Soa being the ones to do the mercenary camps for BTG here. It takes a little while, but once again, as long as you can micro left and right, any hero can do a mercenary camp at this point. But, as you mentioned, Sonya is pretty beastly, changes or not. She hasn't met the new changes that would have just released on YouTube. They're only on the PTR, but she was still nerfed a little bit ago as well, which might affect the fact that Sonya before these changes had a 60% win rate for Soa, but they still feel confident in it.
Yeah, they do exactly what they're supposed to here. With that Knight Camp, they're taking down one tower in the middle lane, potentially the second one there as well. I was just looking at Falsate here if he had Wingman Bright, but no, he doesn't. He went for the standard Season Marksman. We saw it yesterday, actually, to great effect. I think it was on Volskaya Foundry, where he was able...
It was, it was on Dragonshire. It was because he was against a Malthael and required to solo lane effectively without getting himself killed off.
There we go, and although it didn't always come in with great efficiency, it still made sure that his W build performed quite admirably well against Malthael.
Yeah, he 1v1 Malthael every time, 100% of the time. Second, he had that lightning shield. The only issue he had was he was also ganked like a lot.
Yeah.
So we see Genji with Dragon Claw and also in the air because he was knocked up and rooted but able to dash away.
Yeah, Dragon Claw is a very interesting one. Every now and then we will see Chinese players bust it out. Even Melody C was a big fan from SBT of that talent, and it was one of those unspectacular talents that many people didn't even know it existed, but it was buffed multiple times in the history of Genji, and now a lot of Chinese players actually think it is time for the Dragon Claw to be picked. And what it requires you to do is you need to deflect damage from the enemy team, and after a certain amount you will be able to activate it, dealing AoE damage around Genji. So if used well and well-timed, especially against a squishy target like Malfurion or Hanzo, can actually make the difference between getting a reset on the kill or not.
Very true, and that's exactly what you need. Resets are the name of the game for both of these teams. Li Ming going with that Calamity for exactly the same reason, in fact. But level 7 was available for them. The fact that she has that Calamity and almost getting the reset straight away. The deflecting arrow also very nearly hitting Klong. Hanzo going deep with jumping over these terrain ability here. And they're able to pick up 2 kills, looking for a third. Can't catch, sorry.
Yeah, that was so clutch, actually. We saw the superior mobility by Hanzo, making sure that Anuprek, ETC didn't get away in time. A beautiful wall dance, if you will, by dancing. And then, of course, Uther, who was trying to help his buddy, got also caught in the process here. The armor was not enough to keep ETC alive. In the meantime, though, it was only the first tribute, and the experience didn't really pay off too much. Soa was still getting value elsewhere, with Sonya in the middle and Falset applying pressure on the bottom.
So we see the mercenaries taken out very quickly. Sonya is actually finding this, but was just too slow. This is a classic Soa strategy to try and make a play. That is going to be... Is that the enhanced defense or the perfect defense?
That is the enhanced one. The perfect defense is green.
Ah, so it's a little bit of a shield, a little bit of extra protection here. Sorry, dashes through 619, but they're unable to catch him. In the bot lane, though, a counter kill picked up. ZJZ and LLK finding the kill.
Seems like our Li Ming players today are absolutely on fire. First it was TY in the previous game, and now it is LLK making sure that nobody escapes the wrath of the wizard. And very well played up to this point. Druid, by the way, dropping a heal on the wizard mercenary, trying to keep it alive, but not enough healing against all that damage coming in here right now. But yeah, you brought up a very good point. It is a slightly different Genji build to what we're used to seeing normally, with a perfect defense and going full Swift Strike. Sometimes even Shuriken Mastery still. Oh, never mind, sorry, you gotta be very careful. Deflect is ready though, no big deal.
Still takes a lot of damage though, even the Calamity coming in from LLK for the extra damage as level 10 is hit first. Another Tranquility game coming in from our Druid.
Oh, in a Dragon Strike game.
Strike? For what? What are you going to set up with? You don't only have a Warden's Cage?
Yeah, I was going to say, we've seen it yesterday, but it was a tailored team composition, basically. You said it, Maiev was in there, the Warden's Cage, we had actually Falling Sword. Never mind, so you're not level 10, don't get ahead of yourselves here.
That is the point, though. They're not level 10, so this is the only really place they can fight underneath a boss.
No, it's a disaster.
It's still backfired. ETC moving too far forward, should have moved back over to the left as level 10 is hit for Soa. Leap has been picked. Divine Shield, Dragon Blade, Hinterland Blast. The Hanzo blow-up comp returns as they begin looking
Dragon's
for
Blade. Oh!
The Leap, Hinterland Blast. It gets 4 members. Dragon Blade is good, but the Sanctification denies everything. TY looks for LLK. The Dragon Strike does not do much as TY picks up the kill, but he is completely surrounded. Nowhere to go here. It's a 1-for-1. The ETC has returned. He's looking for his opportunity. Trying to fight for his team. He stage dive to get back here to help his team quick enough. TY and Faye escape. That's a 1-for-1, Kendrick. But can ETC get out?
No way!
Keeps it a 1-for-1. Looking for Druid. Faye, the aggression. He gets punished for it. Druid will not die here as well. That was a bit too aggressive, Faye.
Faye, you're glorious, man, but this time you weren't strong enough to take down Malfrey, and he tried to use that short window because Malfrey was getting too close to the tower wall, and he tried to get that surprise kill, but in the end it wasn't enough. Li Ming already posturing up here near that third tribute. This one is the decisive one. This is Curse Point. Sonya only respawning right now, but luckily for Soa, the tribute is a little closer to their own base compared to Beyond the Game, so they need to just buy a little bit of time here, prevent taking unnecessary damage, prevent getting poked down, and wait for Sonya. Here she is.
As we see TY poking in Leap again, Hinterland Blast, 3 to 4 members again, and Malfurion is taken out. It's all good to have Tranquility, but it's nothing if you don't have the Ice Block to survive to use it. But Genji has died in exchange. The damage output from BTG is huge here. Uncle G can't Divine Shield himself. Stage dive to try and counter. ZJZ is dropping low, and TY once again wins a 1v1, picking up yet another kill. Faye, the 3 Faye into the background, and Soa are going to clean up this fight, but Klong may go down as well. TY trying to check CJZ, but he's too fast.
619 is out of mana.
619. One more spear. They hit him, like you said, no mana, nowhere to go, but he has help. Malfurion saving the day, saving 619, but the fight and the tribute go over to Soa.
Soa stabilizes. They took the decisive tribute here. It could have been a curse for Beyond the Game, but with great discipline and strong team fighting, they held themselves in it. It was so clutch though. Uncle G didn't have Divine Shield to protect either Genji or ETC earlier, but now just when it was about to come back off cooldown, Li Ming made sure that he was taken out as well. So strong performance by LLK. First of all, killing Genji with a teleport kill, but then of course not having enough oomph left to destroy the tanky front line. And ETC plus Sonya, the true survivors, the true MVPs of that last engagement.
None of this would have happened if, for starters, Soa hadn't tried to interrupt the boss in the bot lane, which did cost ETC their lives, but it also wouldn't have happened if ETC hadn't made the incredibly quick decision, even with how little CC there is outside of a Nubarak, to go for the stage dive. Wave of Force and Nubarak stuns are not to be sniffed at, but that was still such a clutch move to arrive to help his team. He is the reason they are still fighting, but TY, he just keeps winning 1v1s. He just keeps doing it as they begin to fight over the next tribute. 13 to 13, looking for Tyrael, and they dodge the Nubarak stun. Li Ming looking to wrap Dragon Strike, splits the team in 2. That's pretty good here.
And Genji doesn't have Swift Strike. He used it to get out of harm's way. Here comes the stage dive, re-engage, lockdown onto Li Ming, and she gets popped.
No resets for Li Ming, but resets for Genji. Divine Shield prevents the Nubarak stun here. Hinterland Blast dropping the damage. They try to focus onto Druid here. Uncle G with no health moves back in with the hammer. Drops it down. Both the tanks are all that's left. 619 taken out here. And Soa, it only took one time, but they are snowballing out of control. They're pushing in with this boss here. It's not got much health, but they picked up their second tribute as well.
And can we just take a moment in time here to appreciate the efficiency of Sonya leap into the Falstad Hinterlands Blast every single time. There she goes. There goes Li Ming, and there she is. No more here. Well played once more. The effectiveness, the lethal capabilities here are just through the roof again. Malfurion the next target, and the target prioritization overall by Soa is just immaculate here. They take every ounce of efficiency they can and use it against enemy team members who are out of position. Just so well played.
Soa have retreated back. They know they've bitten off as much as they can chew here and are going to play a little bit safer now. They need their resets. Due to the Hinterland Blast, this time only hitting one person as opposed to the 3 to 4 it's hit every other fight so far. This means it's still on cooldown at this point, meaning Falstad better off letting his team delay if they can, while he tries to soak them up to maybe a level advantage, which they currently have.
Yeah, I think Soa are going to have to play this very carefully here. Divine Shield is ready, but Dragon Blade still on 10-second cooldown. 5 seconds until the laser is back there as well. The Hinterlands Blast Tyrael going in deep. Takes a little bit of CC and damage, but nothing really crucial up to this point.
Faye is found. Sorry, poking in from behind. Falstad is angling himself. He has Li Ming to deal with. A 4th chance at the 1v1 here. Tyrael trying to delay. No one for the interrupt here. Tyrael instead turns around for Uncle G, who's left himself alone. Has to burn the Divine Shield to get out here. And I think Falstad's attempts to soak his team level 16 are costing them a bit too much. And it might just be worth the fight. In fact, he has come over to join his team for this interrupt. Stage dive. That's the commitment. Ice block used way too far in advance. Sonya is in the cocoon, so she couldn't leap to set that up.
Three-man stun though!
Blocks everything. There's the leap, a little bit late, but it comes in exactly when it's needed as we see the Dragon Blade doing so much damage. Druid gets taken out. The Dragon Strike is good this time, but they were able to push out of it and move forward, forcing away the final members of BTG. And Sorry picks up yet another kill.
I didn't expect Soa to do this well after wasting the Divine Shield so early on. Uncle G probably panicked there a little bit because he was sandwiched and caught between the Holy Ground and Anubarak there, so it was a very dangerous situation, but was it really necessary? I don't think so. He used it when he was still at 85% of his health, so Uther is fairly tanky. He probably could have kept himself alive for a little longer, but then again, once again, a 3-man leap by Fei Yi, absolutely crushing Beyond the Game's house right now.
Really enjoyed that. The Hinterland Blast wasn't as lucky due to a beautiful Sank and due to Sonya being in that cocoon, but turns out Leap's pretty good on its own. So that is super good, and timing it right after the Sank, really impressive play here by Soa, making the most of what they had, and now they begin to push in. Falstad's not here though, so this is a 5v4, so they will actually back up, not wanting to take the risk. Even with the curse still active for another 14 seconds, there's no reason for them to potentially risk throwing the game just to try and drop damage onto this keep.
The patience of Fei Yi on that Sonya, by the way, was very impressive there as well. You mentioned the cocoon. He was basically shut down for the most of that team fight's beginning, but he basically took that moment in the cocoon to evaluate the situation perfectly. He waited until the sanctification was over as well, and only then did he use the leap. The false Hinterlands Blast lost a little bit of its value because it was aimed right into the sanctification, but Fei Yi being a little bit more patient, a little bit more efficient there as well, and basically winning that team fight all by himself almost.
We see them beginning to push into the bot lane. They've run out of minions at this point. One left, and down it goes. Fei will actually take a single keep shot, and they haven't done enough damage to finish this off. Fei gets separated. Mystical Spear. Long power slides through to prevent any follow-up. Dragon Strike is used, but not into the area that they actually might fight in. Divine Shield probably not even needed, and now there's the issue of ETC. He might have to burn stage dive to get out of here. He might try. No leap! Bye-bye, Anubarak. Sanctification just too late, but ETC does still drop. Sorry, also going low here. Finished off by the Wave of Force, and Li Ming is showing up this time, but they're still going down. It's a 3 versus 3. Druid is so separated from his team.
He's fast though, Nature's Swiftness.
He is very fast. Tyrael giving him even more speed. And Soa will probably just take this opportunity to back up. No reason to take the risk, because Li Ming resets could be their undoing here. But BTG don't want to give them the opportunity. They are so close to getting themselves back into this game as they chase forward, get Fei. But LLK has no mana at this point. It's just auto attacks to take down Uncle G, and none of these heroes have the fastest auto attacks. They will get him eventually, but it takes them quite a while.
Uncle G was more like Uncle Flea because he couldn't make it in time. He continues to try targets that he can save. I think he should have abandoned the Sonya, left her behind in the field, because as it is, the resets were too strong and he basically exposed himself to become the next victim. It was a good attempt though by Soa, dealing tremendous amounts of damage onto that bottom keep. In the end though, I do want to give a lot of credit to Druid on that Malfurion. He basically made sure that no one could catch him. He had the nature swiftness, kited the enemy team all day long, and made sure that LK was finally getting all those resets that he so needed. And keep in mind, this tribute is now in a golden spot for Beyond the Game. 2 out of 3 already in the bank, and 2 members still dead for Team Soa. I don't think there's any way Team Start Over Again can make it in time there.
There goes the Bruiser camp, trying to put a little bit more pressure. Like you said, Soa, unless they burn globals, there is very little chance that they will contest this tribute, and this will actually be a curse for BTG. The comeback potential here. ETC is pushing up bot lane. They could have actually sent Falstad to kill the keep, but it looks like they actually do want to contest this. They do use the globals. Stage dive coming in. Power slide through ZJZ. Sanctification is up. Dragon strikes, but it's the team. Clog takes a little bit of damage, but is still able to heal that up quickly. The longer this goes on, the more value that boss is going to get, but Soa, they really don't want to be cursed.
The thing is, those 2 Siege Shines were keeping the remaining minions at bay for quite a time, so the towers and the fort and the keep are basically committing all their focus fire onto the boss, but I think the boss is going to take the keep sooner or later. It was still very healthy and it hit pretty hard.
Actually, I quite like this. I've just realized, because the fact is the boss now won't take any health off the core. It probably would have got the keep either way. The difference is there's now, it wasn't a curse for the majority of the time the boss was there. The boss is now low. The issue is someone might pay if they've stayed a little bit too long, and they need to back up. Mystical Spear is used. How committed is 619? Is he going to cocoon? Lovely cleanse. Boss is a little bit lower. Like we said, the keep did some value. This is a core call. Can they defend this? Leap into the backline. Where's that hinterland? It's not here yet. As the sanctification is advanced. Genji in the backline. Dragon Blade as well. Hinterland hits too. The Tranquility having to be used. Core down to 51%, Kendrick.
Wow, when one Shimada goes for the other to save the game, and that was so necessary, that was so important for Team Soa to stay in the game. If Hanzo hadn't died here, this would have been a clear and clean core call for sure. 50%, 51% already in favor of Beyond the Game. While Soa stays still in the game, they're going to have to embrace themselves now for future backdoor attempts, because 50% is quite a big deal. Now, Tetra, I do want to mention this. I'm not sure why Soa tried to even contest for as long as they did. It looked very dangerous. Maybe Falstad, before this tribute even started, could have flown to the bottom lane and just backdoored and teleport back and then defend together. But as it is... Whoa.
No CC, no one able to stop him, and he does fly down, but he does scout that is happening, and because of that fly, 619 now knows
they can't do this. They can't do this.
Yeah, they have to back up because this is happening.
Anubarak is preventing them, though.
Yeah, well, Anubarak, they can't all in the core. Like, even with 51%, they can't actually do it with the heroes they have. Hanzo not being here, he doesn't have play of the game. He took upgraded Dragon Strike.
The mind games. The mind games are real. Team Soa doesn't know what Beyond the Game is up to now. Only now did they get the vision in the middle lane from the minions, and they realized that this was just a fake attempt of threatening the core, which is now down to 51%. And I think we're going to see yet another major team fight go down near the boss pit.
That is a good chance we are going to see that. Like you said, the Bruiser Camp being stolen away by BTG. Nothing that can be done about that. They don't exactly have their own Tyrael to attempt to steal that away. What even is the upgraded Dragon Strike? I've never seen it before.
It gives you cooldown reduction, and I don't know what else it does. Maybe more damage, but as you said, Tetra, here goes the Holy Ground, here goes Sanctification, and this should be a clean boss. Oh, Sonya, what?
They lose the boss, but they're looking for kills. Genji dodging the boss stun, but Uther was not so lucky. Divine shields himself, keeping himself alive. Hinterland Blast is good. Stage dive, the upgraded one with the Crown Pleaser. As they move in, TY getting focused down by LLK, who's at full health. If she can pick up the kill, the resets will be huge. Dragon Blade is killed off the Dragon Strike with the cooldown reduction from earlier. Able to pick up the kill. Down goes Falstad. And Faye is all that's left with Clog, who cannot help her. She's still alive, though. Looks like they want to try and fight this.
Another
Dragon Strike as Clog is trying to delay while the boss is just wrecking his base here.
Oh no, Team Soa, not like this. It looked so good for the majority of that game, but in the end, near the boss pit, they lost their temper. Uther going in recklessly, they're dying first. Coming back though, having to use the ability of Divine Shield onto himself to prevent the early reset on Li Ming. Wait a minute, are they messing this up?
I mean,
No.
it's just
Okay.
Clog. How? How would they ever lose this? Stage dive comes in. I guess I'm going to find out. But no, there's nothing
that's it. The
Clog
boss
can do
alone,
about
yeah.
this. That is GG. And BTG takes game number 2, taking us to a 1-1.
1-1, but I can't help but feel that Soa brought this upon themselves by getting a little bit too